This is an extract from the chapter The Man I Killed from the novel The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. In this extract, we can see Tim O'Brien, who is a U.S. soldier employed in Vietnam, telling the story of the North Vietnamese soldier he has allegedly killed. Kiowa is O'Brien's fellow soldier and his close friend who tries to comfort O'Brien and rationalize O'Brien's actions. For this commentary, I'd like to focus on the main message of the extract, which is that O'Brien envies the death of the young Vietnamese soldier and that he did not actually kill the boy, but is using his story of death to tell the readers that he envies the boy. First, I'll discuss how the author utilizes ionic diction to characterize the young Vietnamese soldier he has allegedly killed. Second, I'll discuss how he utilizes parallelism to compare himself to the young Vietnamese soldier. And lastly, I'll examine how O'Brien uses symbolism as a way of telling the audience that he envies the boy. In the beginning of the passage, Tim O'Brien uses ionic diction, syntax, and imagery to describe the physical appearance and the life of the young Vietnamese soldier. The short sentence structures like "the nose was undamaged" or "he had no stomach for violence," and another one would be that "he loved mathematics," convey an idea to the readers that O'Brien actually knows the young Vietnamese soldier. This is when irony comes in. The young Vietnamese soldier is allegedly killed by O'Brien, but O'Brien uses ironic diction to describe the soldier. When he says the butterfly was making its way along the young man's forehead, which is spotted with small dark freckles, his nose was undamaged, his skin on the right cheek was smooth and fine-grained and hairless, and his eyebrows were thin and arched like a woman's, shows that O'Brien is describing the young Vietnamese soldier as someone who is good looking and gorgeous, and how he thinks he used to know the boy even though the boy is thought to be dead and had no real relation with O'Brien. As the passage progresses, O'Brien also uses parallelism to compare himself to the Vietnamese soldier, as O'Brien says that the boy loved mathematics and hoped the war would end. And we can see O'Brien is trying to use parallelism uh, to compare himself to the young Vietnamese soldier. O'Brien was drifted into this war, even though he was a very intelligent man who had a full scholarship at Harvard Graduate School. O'Brien also hoped that the war would end soon and try to evade the war by attempting to flee to Canada. But in the end, both the young Vietnamese soldier and young O'Brien got drifted into the Vietnam War due to the shame they both would have gotten from their family if they evaded the war. This brings up the sub-theme of the passage, which is that shame is a factor of motivation. When Kiowa says, "Listen to me, you feel terrible, I know that," on line 30, and then on line 31, he says, "Okay, maybe I don't know." This causes an ambiguous thought towards the feeling O'Brien has after killing the young Vietnamese soldier. Kiowa may think that O'Brien feels terrified as he caused the death of the young Vietnamese soldier, so he tries to comfort O'Brien and tries to rationalize O'Brien's actions by saying, "Tim, it's a war." However, O'Brien may not feel terrified or feel sympathy towards a dead boy, but may rather envy him, as the boy got to basically escape the gruesome war. Last of all, O'Brien uses symbolism to indirectly convey his life story. The young Vietnamese boy symbolizes the young Tim O'Brien as a kid before he got drafted into the war. From the long paragraph from line 7 to line 29, the reader can get an idea of who Tim O'Brien was as a person, like his characteristics. From the sentence in line 23 to line 26, and it says, in the presence of his father and uncles, he pretended to look forward to doing his patriotic duty, which was also a privilege. But at the night he prayed with his mother that the war might end soon. This sentence shows how the boy was a coward and didn't want to fight the war, which also indicates that O'Brien was also a coward and didn't want to fight the war. The paragraph from line 7 to 29 indicates that the boy was an anti-war, peace-loving individual, which also indicates that O'Brien was also an anti-war, peace-loving individual. When O'Brien allegedly killed the boy, he envies the boy as the boy finally achieved his long-wanted goal, which was to evade the war. I think this is O'Brien's way of telling the readers how he didn't actually kill the boy, but is rather referring the boy to symbolize himself. In conclusion, we see how how the author utilizes diction, parallelism, and imagery, and many other stylistic features, and as a means to tell the audience that he did not actually kill the young Vietnam soldier, but just used the boy as a way to tell his own story and desire to the readers. He does not want to fight the war anymore, but just wants to rest in peace, avoiding the war.